All right, River, Allegro. So I trust you have been practicing your Martele. And so I do want to go ahead and just start out our video today with just a little bit of reminder about how the Martele is going to work best, okay? And then we're going to go into Allegro. So when you're doing a Martele, you want a nice straight arm, okay? You want this nice and straight. We don't want it bent like this, okay? And then we want to make sure that on our bow, our hand, that our pinky is really, really round, okay? And we're just gonna drop our elbow down. So you can hear that it's a fast bow. It's a big bow, using a lot of bow, and there's a stop at the end, but the bow stays on the string. Now, after you've practiced it, you can put it to the beginning of Allegro. So A, E, E. Okay? And then I gave you this spot with a couple more E's after it. And that's the whole first little phrase. Now you'll notice that the eighth notes that I played are very different. They're tiny bows, tiny and connected, so it's not staccato here, not like that, but connected. Okay, so big bows, tiny, tiny, big bows. All right, now we're going to do that same pattern on the A string, but with different notes. So 2 Ds, 2 C sharps. That was another spot I gave you there. And then after the open A, which is a half note, we're going to do a bow circle. Bow circle lands back on the E string. That way we're ready to play the next part, which starts the same thing. Now, after you've played it twice, then we're going to go to a new part. In that part, you'll notice that the character of the music is very different from the beginning. The beginning is kind of like a really like aggressive character, right? With those big bows. It's kind of almost startling is how big those bows are. And then here it's smooth, no Martele here. This is much more like Long, Long Ago, right? Or O Come Little Children here. And then, when you finish this phrase, you can actually go a little bit softer and a little bit slower and come to a complete stop and freeze. Sounds like this and looks like this. I'm still here. The video didn't pause. I was just very still. What does that do? That creates suspense, okay? You know what I mean when I say that? That means everybody in the audience holds their breath in anticipating what's going to come next. They're on the edge of their seats. And you create that from what you're doing, Okay, so you have to practice on that last note, on that B. You want to be really still, okay? So your bow doesn't lift off. We're not going to do that. And then once you've created the suspense, then you're going to shock everybody. So, when you put it all together, you actually play the same line of music 3 times. And there's only one other line of music, and that's different. Okay, so just to practice, when you finish that B and you come to a stop, you need to have your finger quietly ready on the E string. And then as soon as you lift your bow, you're going to breathe, and that lets your pianist know that you're ready to go, because your pianist is going to have to play this part with you. So you go, and the same time that you breathe, you lift your bow back to the frog, and you start. Okay, so you have to practice going B to the martelet. All right. So this is hard and easy at the same time. The easy thing about Allegro is that there's not a whole lot to learn. The hard thing about it is doing the martelet in a way where your bow's not all over the place. Because sometimes when you use a fast bow, it's hard to control it. And so the things that I showed you right here, keeping this line, okay, when you're doing it, making sure your pinky is really, really round and strong when you're doing it, those things are going to help you to control it. And yeah. So anyway, I would love to hear you play Allegro for me next week. All of it if you can, but I'll take whatever you got, and I'll even take your martelet in Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. If you're practicing that, I'd like to hear that too. Let's also make sure that you do you're doing lesson number 19, and if you're done with that, you can go on to 20 and show me that next time. And then long ago, you've been practicing it with your eyes closed, and you've been recording it so that you can listen and find out if you're really connecting all of the sounds. So I'd like to hear long ago also next time. All right. Well, missed you today, but look forward to seeing you again next week, and hope you're having fun whatever you're up to. Bye.